You're listening to Kizuki, the podcast. I'm Mae Yoshikawa, and I define the Japanese concept of Kizuki as the following. Kizuki. 1. A moment of epiphany, an aha of realization or insight which opens the knower to a new dimension of truth that was formerly unknown. 2. Steps in an incremental growth of awareness, resulting in a movement from ignorance to greater awareness of the bigger picture. A kind of knowing that cannot be undone, that cannot be unrealized. As a longtime yoga and meditation practitioner, a world traveler, and curious self-explorer, I'm obsessed with Kizukis. Listen on each week for inspiring and enlightening stories that may just tip you over for your next aha. On this week's episode, More Without Shame. There's a memory that lives in my body long before it ever lived in my mind. And something about this recent holiday season, having all of these relaxed days off that allowed my system, my body, to relax enough that this memory in my body could come up to surface and be healed and seen in gentleness. In this memory, I'm 5, maybe 6 years old. I'm sitting at the dining table with my family. I come from a big family, 4 siblings, and then grandparents and my parents. We weren't poor, but we didn't exactly have abundant overflow either. That meant that my mother was usually quite on her toes and very aware about how much we had, whether it was food or budgeting around household staples. And naturally, growing up in Japan, rice was life. Rice mattered. In this one memory, as a young child, the youngest of the siblings, I went to reach for another bowl. I wanted seconds, even though I hadn't cleaned up my first bowl. I wanted to get extra because I was too afraid of there not being enough when it came to be my turn, because my brother and my sisters were all older and faster than me at getting everything. And when I went to get this other extra bowl, my mother looked at me and said, "Iyashi," in this very charged, emotional manner. And iyashi is this Japanese term for greedy. But it wasn't just a normal greedy. It's almost like a twisted, perverted greediness. Hoarding, shameless, inappropriate. In that moment, something in me shut down. It's not like that moment was everything that embedded this meaning in my nervous system. That moment was symbolic. It was symbolic of years of learning that in my household, in my upbringing, as the youngest one, I wasn't supposed to take more, especially not first. In my household, boys and the men went first. The older ones got to go first. And I learned that my place was always consistently last. Even more than that, I learned this, that if I reached, that if I asked for more, if I made myself visible in wanting more, I would be judged, attacked, and humiliated in front of the entire family. In looking back at that now, I now understand that my nervous system did what a child's nervous system does. It learned to stay safe through smallness. Don't take too much. Don't even want too much. Don't be seen wanting, because wanting more and being visible about it was dangerous and risky. I think perhaps for decades that wiring lived quietly in the background of my life. The tricky thing was that it wasn't even a thought. It wasn't verbalized. It was more of this low-grade chronic feeling, a subtle contraction when it came to me receiving more, a hesitation when it came to me receiving first, because I never believed that I deserved it. Ouch. This past year, I've been unwinding that wiring, slowly and gently, meeting each step as I can, letting my body catch up to what my mind already knew, that it's okay for me to want more, that it can be safe for me to reach for more, to vocalize it, and to be visible about it. And why not? Why not believe that I could deserve all of the same things that my brother, my sisters, and the older ones did? Here's what happened over this recent New Year's holiday. My father took me and my kids out to dinner. Crab kaiseki, y'all. Okay, I have long said that this is the last dinner I would choose to eat if I could choose it before I die. That's how much I love this crab kaiseki. It's like this full course Japanese, delicately designed and served crab meal. You can have crab sashimi, like boiled crab, crab in a nabe, like pot dish, every which way, like charcoal grilled. It's just everything is so divinely done. And that's the kind of meal that you just don't eat every day. I mean, clearly this is a special occasion meal, and it feels like being treated. And my dad, now older, loves to do this for us. Every few months, he gathers us, me and my kids, and he says, "Hey, shall we go get dinner? Let's go eat something good, like crab." And of course, the kids and I are like, "Yay!" This is so meaningful to me after decades of wounds, misunderstandings, and distance, that my father and I find ourselves in this here and now, a solid place, a loving place, even a healing place. And this night, just a few nights ago, my little son Aiden, he finished his meal first and moved on to dessert. And then Isa, my older boy. And because Aiden finished everything first, he wanted seconds to his dessert. And my dad said, without hesitation, "Of course, order another one." So Aiden was so excited to get another serving of ice cream. And at the end of my course, I had this beautiful little fruit plate with Japanese melon. Oh my God, y'all, if you haven't had Japanese melon, you haven't lived. You must, okay? Visit Japan in the season and eat it because it's just so yummy. But I finished this piece of melon and the fruit plate, and my meal was complete, but that was not the thought I had. I thought, well, Aiden got seconds and I wouldn't mind some ice cream too. And I start eyeing on the dessert menu this phenomenal yuzu sherbet that they have on the menu. Yuzu is this really light, lovely Japanese citrus fruit, and it smells just so beautiful. And you know what? Normally, I probably wouldn't have said anything. I'm so used to just letting the kids go first and have their way. And it's like second nature to me that I wouldn't really assert my desire in a place like that. But this time, something was different. And I casually murmured, I might want a second serving of dessert too. And my dad immediately said, why don't you get one? No pause, no evaluation, no judgment. Just, of course. And so I didn't hesitate either. I ordered it. I received it. I let it melt inside my mouth and enjoyed it fully. And that was it. It felt so natural, just the right way of things to be, that I didn't even register it as anything special. Not until the next day. I was journaling about the beautiful evening and reflecting and kind of reliving the experience of, oh, how good was it that I had the entire crab course meal and then the dessert melon and then the yuzu sherbet. Thank you. And then I had this realization. I got seconds. And it was a given, not something I had to earn or struggle for, not something I had to justify or prove, not something I had to wait for until everyone else was done. It was already mine before I even asked for it. And then suddenly, that old memory in my body, it resurfaced. That bowl of rice that I reached for. And the word that my mom used, yashi. The child who learned it wasn't safe to want more. And I felt something in my body just soften. Because this time, the message was different. This time, the message was, well, of course, Mae, of course you can have more. Of course you're allowed. Of course it's safe. That was never questioned. What healed me most wasn't even the dessert, right? It was the naturalness of it. The fact that I didn't even register it as something special. It was just the simplicity of no drama, no explanation, no correction. Just a quiet, well, of course it's yours. And, did my nervous system feel that? And I just love this story so much. It's so meaningful to me in its naturalness and subtlety and how small it was, that all it freaking took was for me to just get an extra yuzu sherbet, for me to begin to unwind, unravel, and heal just decades of something that was traumatically wired in my system, because it showed me experientially that healing doesn't have to come through confrontation, spelling it out and affirming it and being like forceful about it, you know? There is a type of healing that gets rewired through new experiences that land so gently because it's so natural that we only realize their impact in hindsight. What a kizuki for me. That receiving more doesn't have to be dangerous. That wanting more doesn't make me wrong. That safety can exist alongside abundance and receiving. And that sometimes the most profound healing moments can come simply disguised as dessert. thank you for listening. If you'd like to go a little deeper, I'd love to invite you to the next online live session of Kizuki Journaling. It's happening on January 26 in North America and January 27 in Japan, Australia, and this side of the world. Replays are available if you can't join us live. The theme for this session is Your Unnamed Essence, an exploration of the self beneath identity, roles, and stories. You can find all the details at maey.live under Sessions. I'd love to have you with me for this beautiful, meaningful reflection.